Okay, so for my first book share, this is called Doug Unplugged by Dan Yaccarino. And what it's about a little boy named Doug, who is a boy robot who lives with his family. And his family wants him to be really, really smart. So they plug him in and so he can learn all kinds of cool facts. The story takes place in their house, and he learns about the city. He gets curious and wants to go out and discover the city for himself. So he gets unplugged. He flies, and he goes to the city. He learns that the cement is wet when you step in it, and that garbage cans are smelly. All kinds of things about the city. And he goes to the park, and he finds a friend to play with. And this is his first time probably to ever interact with a human. So he plays with the boy, but the boy gets worried because he can't find his parents. So Doug picks up the boy. They fly above the city, and he finds the little boy's parents and drops him off. And then he remembers his parents and that he wants to go home and tell them all about his day. It's a good book. Now, this book was really cool. This is historical fiction. This is Sacagawea, Journey into the West by Jessica Gunderson, illustrated by Cynthia Martin and Barbara Schultz. The reason why this is so cool is that it's written kind of like a comic book. So this is kind of why it's fiction. This is the story of Sacagawea. In the late 1700s, she is in the Shinoba tribe, kind of close to modern-day Idaho, and she goes with her tribe to the Three Forks of the Missouri River and is kidnapped by another tribe, and they take her, hold her as a slave. They then sell Sacagawea as a slave to a fur trader who wants to marry her. So the fur trader marries Sacagawea, so she's in a really bad situation. However, Lewis and Clark show up in a boat, and they're on an expedition, and they need someone to translate in Sacagawea's language so the Indians know that Lewis and Clark don't mean any harm. So they find Sacagawea. She offers to go, and it's a really good thing because she ends up finding her family in the exact spot where she was kidnapped. She's reunited with her family and her tribe, and she tells her folks that Lewis and Clark don't mean any harm. They just want to trade guns and weapons for horses and food. So they do that, and they find a river. I think it's the Colorado River, or they go through the Rocky Mountains and they find a river all the way to the west. But on their way back, Sacagawea shows them a shortcut, which is the Missouri River, which hasn't been found yet. So Lewis and Clark, they make it back to their spot, and 3 years later, she gets a letter informing her that Lewis and Clark had purchased 320 acres of land and a house for her and her tribe to live on legally by the United States government. And the reason why it's historical fiction, even though this is a story about Sacagawea, is because nobody knows really what the conversations that these people are having. Nobody knows what really happened. So it's really, really cool. And that's it. Thank you.